Artie Lange isn't the only celeb who can't stand Howard Stern, but the animosity he holds towards his former boss is undeniably personal. For nearly a decade, Lange served as one of Stern's sidekicks on The Howard Stern Show, until Lange's battle with drug addiction led to his departure in 2009. Since then, Lange has staged a comeback doing stand-up, starring on HBO's Crashing, and writing his second New York Times best-selling memoir. Between this former comedy duo's complicated showbiz history and their on-and-off friendship, let's take a look at why Artie Lange hates Howard Stern so much. The reasons might just surprise you. Dealing with drug addiction. As Artie Lange's struggle with addiction and depression worsened throughout his tenure on Howard Stern Show, it increasingly affected his work. In his 2013 memoir, Crash and Burn, the comic wrote, "My performance slid into shit after 8 solid years." He'd noticeably lost his timing by 2009 and often fell asleep on air, leading to an indefinite hiatus for a rehab stint. Afterwards, Stern decided against inviting Lange back on the show. He told Rolling Stone, "I don't even feel strong enough within myself or that I'd be doing the right thing by him, because I don't want to do the wrong thing for Artie. I just want Artie to stay alive." Lange has long credited Stern for supporting him in his sobriety, but that doesn't mean the radio DJ knew exactly what the comedian was going through at the height of his addiction.
He didn't know the extent of it. Yeah. There's no way he could have.
He's critical of Stern. Artie Lange can be counted among the more outspoken critics of The Howard Stern Show's more politically correct direction during the 2010s. On his Artie Quitter podcast in December 2016, he claimed that Stern abandoned his fans in exchange for more mainstream success. Stern hit back on a show in 2015 saying,
"I hear that all the time, that I'm PC.
Oh, that's what they said?
Yeah, I'm politically correct. All right, so I'm politically correct. What can I tell you?"
Is Stern obsessed? Artie Lange may not mince his words when it comes to Howard Stern, but the exact opposite is true for Stern, who's refused to replace and rarely discusses the comedian. On his podcast, Artie Quitter, Lange said, "He's obsessed with me. He doesn't bring up my name and I was there for 10 years. That's calculated." However, Stern's ongoing silence on the matter may just be a sign of lingering pain over the difficult situation. Searching for closure. Ever since he left The Howard Stern Show, Artie Lange has yet to feel a sense of closure. As he's lamented in multiple interviews over the years, this is partly because he's had little contact with Stern despite his attempts to reconnect.
I called him 4 times, probably 3 or 4 times. I left voicemails, and he never called me back.
Feeling that he deserves better than both literal and figurative radio silence, the comedian went on.
And I think just all that, maybe I earned 10 minutes off the air to just let me say in person, "I'm sorry," and hear him out and then hug and say goodbye.
Social media drama. Artie Lange's seemingly one-sided feud with Howard Stern came to a head in May 2018, when he threatened to post the shock jock's personal phone number on social media if he didn't send him $2,500, posting, "Warning Howard Stern, Howard, it's Artie. I've had enough of your Sorry it's come to this." It's unclear what exactly brought all this on or whether Lange was even serious about following through. However, a source told Radar Online that it was all in good fun, saying, "He's joking. He has a soft spot for Stern. It's like a love-hate relationship, but Artie will always love Stern." Their complicated dynamic. After leaving The Howard Stern Show, Artie Lange felt as if he'd lost a father figure in Stern. In an interview with Philly Voice, he said, "We hate each other's guts. It had a terrible ending, and that's what happens. Then you go into rehab and, they tell you lose friends." According to Lange, Stern essentially cut him out of his life completely. Strangely enough, Lange has often attributed this move to their father-son relationship dynamic.
He did think of me, I think, a little bit like a son type of thing.
Perhaps because of this, Lange still feels totally influenced by Stern. He told NJ.com, "I feel his moves all the time, especially in interviewing. And without him, there would be nothing right now without Howard." Common ground. Artie Lange and Howard Stern's falling out has left many fans wondering whether these two will ever bury the hatchet, but the two were willing to put away their differences to support a close friend. The famous comedy duo last saw one another in person in 2012, while visiting their colleague Robin Quivers in the hospital amid her cancer battle.
It was as if I saw him 2 minutes ago. He said, we got to make Robin laugh. That's what he said to me. So we put everything aside for that, and the 3 of us spoke as if we were on the air for an hour. We just laughed like crazy.
Reportedly, the two haven't seen each other since that day.